Let me ask you something. Do you control your mornings, or do your mornings control you? Every day, the world throws distractions, doubts, and noise at us. If you don't have a system to center yourself, mentally and emotionally, you'll get dragged into the chaos. That's why, every morning without fail, I tell myself 5 brutally honest truths. These are not affirmations. They are reminders, commands, that I program into my mind like code, because without direction, we default to distraction. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll share the one morning belief that flipped my mindset from chasing goals to building legacies. Let me be blunt. The first hour of your day determines the trajectory of your life. Most people don't realize this. They wake up and immediately reach for their phones, scroll through noise, compare themselves to filtered illusions, and by the time they look up, they've already surrendered the steering wheel of their day. I don't do that. I can't afford to. The world is moving too fast. Disruption is the new default. So, before I interact with the world, I remind myself of who I am and what I'm building, not with fluffy affirmations, but with raw, unfiltered truths. I call it my morning code, a set of 5 things I repeat to myself every single morning. They aren't optional. They are mandatory. Why? Because clarity is not something you stumble into. It's something you engineer. And clarity in the morning compounds into confidence, speed, and execution all day long. The first reminder is this: clarity beats chaos. When I wake up, I don't negotiate with the confusion of the world. I don't scroll. I don't listen to opinions. I give myself clarity. I look at my goals, my blueprint, my mission. Because the world will try to sell you urgency that's not yours. You have to reclaim your mind before it gets hijacked. And when you operate from clarity, you don't chase trends. You create waves. Second, I remind myself, pain is the blueprint. Every breakthrough I've ever had came wrapped in discomfort. If something is hard, it's not a sign to quit. It's a sign you're building something worth doing. When most people run from struggle, I lean into it. Because pain is a teacher disguised as pressure. And greatness never comes without paying the price in discomfort. And this is the hardest one. No one is coming to save me. The moment I internalized that, everything changed. It's easy to wish someone else would solve your problems, give you the map, or fix your mindset. But you are the map, you are the problem, and the solution. Radical ownership isn't just a productivity tip, it's the foundation of freedom. When you stop outsourcing your power, you become unstoppable. These 3 truths, clarity, pain, and ownership, are how I prime my mind for the day, not with hope, not with hype, but with high-voltage reality. By this point in the morning, I haven't even checked a message. I've already reprogrammed my brain. I'm not operating on yesterday's fears. I'm not distracted by someone else's urgency. I'm locked in on my mission, fueled by purpose, and prepared for resistance. And the best part, anyone can do this. You don't need money. You don't need followers. You don't need permission. You just need to decide, every single morning, to run your day like your future depends on it, because it does. The 4th truth I tell myself every morning is simple, but brutal: vision over feelings. Why? Because feelings are inconsistent, fragile, and often deceptive. But vision, true vision, is precise, unshakable, and future-focused. You see, most people live based on how they feel. I feel tired, so I'll rest. I feel anxious, so I'll delay. I don't feel inspired, so I won't start. That kind of life is a loop, emotion dictating action, action reinforcing emotion. It's a downward spiral. But high performers, they reverse the order. They don't wait for a good mood. They act, and that's what I remind myself of every single morning. I don't need to feel like working. I don't need to feel creative, confident, or even ready. I need to show up anyway, because every time I choose vision over feelings, I expand. I break the old programming. You think I always feel motivated to push boundaries, solve problems, or lead people through chaos? Absolutely not, but I don't serve my feelings, I serve the mission. Your emotions aren't enemies, but they are unreliable teammates. You can acknowledge them, sure, but don't let them decide your schedule. And here's the thing most people miss. You don't build motivation by sitting around waiting for it. You build it by taking action, even when it's inconvenient. That's when your mind starts to trust you. That's when discipline becomes your identity. The people you admire, the ones who changed the world, they didn't always feel strong. They felt tired, scared, overwhelmed. But they didn't let that stop them. Why? Because their mission was louder than their mood. So, every morning I remind myself, my emotions are valid, but my vision is the boss. My actions define my trajectory, not my feelings. If I only work when I feel like it, I'll always be average. You want to break out of mediocrity? Then stop waiting for perfect conditions. The world won't pause to match your energy. You've got to bring the fire with or without the spark. Now, I'm not saying ignore yourself. I'm saying train yourself. Train your mind to obey your purpose. Train your habits to outpace your doubts. Because if you can wake up and act in alignment with your goals, even when you're not in the mood, you are already ahead of 90% of the world. That's why this fourth truth matters so much. When your vision leads and your discipline follows, you no longer need motivation. You become the momentum. And the moment you understand this, you stop asking, "How do I feel?" and start asking, "What needs to be done?" The answer becomes your power. And that power is how legacies are built. The fifth thing I remind myself every morning is this: I create, not wait. It sounds simple, but this one shift changed everything, because most people spend their lives waiting for permission, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment, the perfect idea, the perfect timing. And while they're waiting, others are building. Every morning, I remind myself, I wasn't born to scroll. I wasn't built to consume other people's dreams. I was made to create, to innovate, to contribute, to leave a mark. That mindset flips a switch. It takes you out of the audience and throws you onto the stage. You stop being a spectator in your own life and start being the architect of it. You know how most people wake up. They check their phones. They scroll through reels, highlights, and noise. They consume so much that by the time they try to do something for themselves, their mind is already fatigued. But not me, not anymore. I start my day by asking, what can I build today? What can I ship, create, write, launch, solve? How can I turn raw thought into real impact? Because the truth is, the people who shape the future are not the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones who execute. You might think, but I'm not a CEO. I don't run a company. Doesn't matter. You can still create. You can build skills, habits, systems, content, art, code, networks, businesses, opportunities. Creating is a mindset, not a job title. When you stop waiting for life to happen, you start to design it. That's where the power is. I tell myself daily, if I don't build, I decay. If I don't create, I stagnate. If I'm not putting something out into the world, I'm just reacting to what the world throws at me. And here's the best part. Creation doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. It means forward motion. Put something into the world, a video, a message, a product, a decision, a change, something that says, I was here and I made this better. This habit rewires your brain. You become solution-oriented. You stop waiting for life to feel right, and you start engineering a life that is right. Because when you start each day asking, what can I create? You activate your greatest human advantage, your ability to shape reality with intention. The world doesn't need more people waiting. It needs more people building. So build, even if it's small, even if it's slow, even if no one's watching yet, because the builder's mindset compounds, and over time, that's how you go from invisible to undeniable. The final truth I drill into my mind every single morning is this: time is non-renewable. And when I say it, I don't say it lightly. I don't whisper it like a quote I saw on the internet. I say it like it's a matter of life and death, because it is. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and recover. You can even lose people and find new relationships. But once you waste time, it's gone forever. That realization hits me like a punch to the chest every morning. Because while most people treat time like they have unlimited refills, I treat every hour like it's oxygen in a leaking tank. You don't know how much is left, you just know it's running out. That's not negative, that's clarity. When you fully understand the value of time, you start living differently. You stop tolerating distractions. You stop entertaining useless arguments, mindless scrolling, and empty routines. You get focused, ruthless, intentional. So every morning I remind myself, you will never get this day again. You don't have time to be average. You are either investing in your vision or draining your future. That mindset doesn't just help me make better decisions. It helps me move faster, because the future isn't won by the smartest person in the room. It's won by the one who executes consistently and quickly. Speed matters, action matters, urgency matters. When I look at the clock, I don't see numbers. I see a scoreboard. Every second is a chance to build, learn, grow, or lead. And if I'm wasting it, I'm losing. Period. Let me ask you something. How many mornings have you spent doing nothing important? How many weeks have gone by with no progress? Now imagine if you treated every morning like a countdown to your greatest work. What would you build? Who would you become? People say, I don't have time. No, you waste time. You trade it for cheap dopamine. You hand it over to things that don't matter, people who don't care, and habits that don't serve you. And then you wonder why you feel behind. Not me, not anymore. I've made a promise to myself. My time is for progress, not procrastination, and I live by it. If a task doesn't move me closer to my vision, it's off the table. If a meeting has no purpose, I'm not in it. If a distraction wants my attention, it better be worth my life, because that's what I'm spending. That's the mindset. That's the code. You don't need to be perfect. But you do need to be intentional, because time doesn't care about your excuses. It only rewards your execution. Let me be brutally honest. No one is coming to save me. Not a mentor, not a friend, not a miracle. Not even luck. Every morning I repeat this to myself, not to feel hopeless, but to feel powerful. Because the second you stop waiting for rescue, you start becoming the rescuer of your own life, of your vision, of your future. This mindset is not comfortable, but it's necessary. Most people secretly hope someone will show up and pull them out of their mess. They look for a shortcut, a savior, someone to carry them through. But life doesn't work like that, and the longer you wait, the more powerless you become. So, I remind myself radical ownership is the gateway to freedom. It means everything in my life, good or bad, is either something I created or something I allowed. That's hard to swallow, but it's also the key, because if I caused it, I can change it. If I allowed it, I can stop it. If I broke it, I can rebuild it. Stronger, you want power, then stop pointing fingers. The economy, the algorithm, your past, your parents, they are not your ceiling. The only ceiling that exists is the one you refuse to break through, and that begins the moment you say, "It's on me." No one is coming to give you permission. You already have it. No one is coming to give you a plan. You can build it. No one is coming to give you time. You must take it, and don't confuse help with saving. Yes, people can support you. They can advise, cheer, or challenge you. But they can't build your life for you. That's your job. That's your duty. When I fully embraced this mindset, everything changed. I stopped expecting and started executing. I stopped blaming and started building. I stopped wishing and started working. It's not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. When I fail, I don't say it wasn't fair. I ask, where did I fall short? And then, I fix it. I learn, I level up. That's growth. That's leadership. That's the mindset that separates the average from the extraordinary. Every morning, this truth sharpens me. I don't wait. I initiate. I don't complain. I create. I don't hope. I build. This is the mental framework that produces results, and the people who live by it don't need saving, because they save themselves over and over again. That's who I'm becoming. And you can too, if you stop waiting and start owning everything. Now that you've heard the 5 truths I repeat to myself every morning, let's bring them together, because this isn't just mental motivation, it's a daily system, a blueprint for how I shape my day before the world gets a chance to. It starts with clarity beats chaos, because the world will try to own your mind the second you wake up. If you don't lock in your vision, distractions will win by default. That's why I wake up and mentally zoom out. I ask what matters most today, and not what's urgent, what's important. One decision made in clarity can save me 10 hours of confusion later. Then comes pain is the blueprint. I don't run from pressure, I run toward it. Pain is data. It shows me where the next version of me is hiding, whether it's that workout I'm dreading or that uncomfortable conversation. I lean in. Why? Because I know comfort is the cage, pain is the process. And on the other side of that pain is growth. No one is coming to save me is where everything becomes real. I don't wait for motivation, opportunity, or the perfect conditions. If something's broken, I fix it. If something's missing, I build it. No more handouts, no more hoping, just execution, full ownership. This is the mindset that separates leaders from followers, builders from dreamers. Next, vision over feelings keeps me from drifting. My emotions don't set the pace. My mission does. Some mornings I wake up tired, stressed, uninspired. But I don't let that decide the day. I remind myself, discipline doesn't care how I feel. If I want to lead, I act like it. If I want impact, I show up whether I feel like it or not. And then comes I create, not wait the creator's mindset. I ask myself, what will I make today? Even if it's small, a new idea, a piece of content, a new habit, I create momentum. That's the key, because when I'm building, I'm moving forward. I'm not reacting. I'm leading. The world belongs to the creators, always has, always will. Finally, time is none, renewable ties it all together. This moment, gone forever, that hour, you don't get it back. So I treat time like gold. No, more than gold. I protect it, use it, invest it. Because what I do with my time is what I do with my life. Put these together, and what do you have? A system for dominance, a formula for clarity, speed, resilience, focus, and legacy. Not just motivation, but transformation. If you start your day with this code, consistently, you'll stop living on autopilot and start living intentionally. You'll stop chasing success and start becoming the kind of person success naturally finds. Remember this, your future isn't waiting, it's being built right now, and you are the architect.